Hello and welcome to this walkthrough guide of Above Snakes. We're going to jump straight into the start of the game. So after you've been through the introduction series, it's going to tell you that you need to wake up. So the way that you can do this is by using the W, A, S and D key and also your mouse. If you're using a controller, you can use the directional pad. So we need to just click a key so we can move initially. And you're going to start within a cabin. So from here, all you'll need to do is just walk over to your backpack. You'll hear a noise from outside. You'll be able to go through the dialogue. And then you walk over to your backpack and you will press the F key to grab the backpack. You can notice anything you can interact with in the world will have these little yellow stars emanating from the object. So we're going to press F to pick up our backpack. This now gives us some information around our backpack, which we will talk about shortly. And we can also now see that these stars are on the box. So we're going to move over to the box, the crate. We're going to open this and we're going to gather the book. To do that, we just left click our mouse to take, or we can press F. And this takes these items and puts them into our backpack. We can press tab at any time to access our backpack. And now I'm going to just talk you through this screen briefly. So the backpack is broken down into 5 components. You've got your resources, your consumables, your equipment, which at the moment we have a robe, anything building wise or anything miscellaneous. Here we've got a book. Along the top from the backpack we have crafting, so this is stuff that we can handcraft, and then all of the rest of these require a building to be able to craft. We have a tannery, furnace, anvil, sawmill, a fletching table and the gunsmith. The next screen is our workbench, and this is the workbench tier, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. As well as crafting and upgrading on the workbench, we also can click on shelter and perks. Every time you upgrade your workbench to like a level 1, you have the ability to upgrade your shelter to a level 1. If your workbench and shelter are both at the required level, then you get a perk. We'll talk about perks later. This shows you all of your clothing, everything that you have equipped, including all of your current stats and your ongoing statistics. And then the last one finally is the quest log. So that's everything we need to know about the menu system. From now, we're just going to head outside by opening the door. And this brings us to the first opportunity for us to interact with a character. We can also use the camera controls at this stage to rotate using Q and E. So if we do that, it will rotate us 90 degrees. And we can do that at any point in both directions. So now we're going to interact with Joanne. And I'm going to skip this because we don't need to do this. How you interact with players throughout the game does change the game somewhat. So you want to take some time to really go through this. But I'm not going to focus on the content. That here I'm just going to skip. Because for now, I want you to focus on that when you're playing. I'm just trying to give you some guides as to what to do. So, we're going to go through all of these questions. We've now got a hard antler and some flint that we've been given. This will allow us to open our first quest. So, pressing F to escape. We've now got our first quest. We can also now see this UI. So, in the top left, it tells us what day we're on and what biome we're in. It tells us what our quest is that we're doing at the moment. And the quest we can change. If we click on quests, we can untick this. We now have no quest. If we come back to quests and tick this, this is now active here. And if we click on the quest, it actually tells us what we need to do. So the first thing we need to open our backpack, we've done that. We need to gather branches from a pine tree and we need to craft a primitive axe. So they're the things we need to do first and foremost. In the bottom right, we can see any status that is applied to us. At the moment, we are healthy, so that's good. Then we have our thirst, we have our hunger, our sanity, and our fatigue. So these are our 4 different items that we can see available as we're playing the game here. And also, we've got our health bar underneath as well. So this is our health. So these will decrease in squares, so from the top all the way around until they are empty. And we'll keep an eye on those as we play the game. For now, I'm going to walk up to this tree and I'm going to just search it by pressing F, holding F. I've now searched and I've acquired a branch. I can do the same thing again. I can search again. I've got another branch. And I can do this a 3rd time. I have a feather. So now it's not going to let me do that again because it's on a cooldown. but I've now got that item that I needed. I can go to my crafting, and in my crafting, hand crafting, I can now use the branch and the flint to craft this item. So I'll press and hold F, and I now have a primitive axe. Now I can equip the axe by pressing number 1, and I'm onto my new task, which is gathering lumber. So I need to equip my axe, chop a tree, and gather some lumber. So I press number 1 in my hotbar, and you can see if it's enabled or not. Right now it is enabled. Once this is enabled, I can use my right mouse, my left mouse button to swing. And what you'll notice is the direction that my mouse is the direction that I will attack. So I attack up, or I can attack down. This is important when you're attacking enemies, because the direction of your mouse, not the direction of your character. See, if my character is facing this way, but I attack this way, I will turn around. So you need to make sure that your mouse is pointing where you want to go. This is very good for when you want to do things like this, for example. I want to knock down this tree. But if I position myself behind the tree towards another object like this rock, I can hit this tree. And if I hit it at the right direction, when it falls, it will fall on the rock, taking out the rock at the same time. I can now gather the rock as well as the tree material. And this has given me a lot of new blueprints. So it's told me to gather rocks. I've already done that. I'm going to do the same thing again just to show you. So I'm going to come behind this tree. I'm going to hit this tree. I'm going to hit it towards this rock. That way, when the tree falls, it also takes out the rock. It means I don't have to spend time hitting the rock. So a very good way to be able to do this. So we've just got some rocks and some more branches. Going to press tab, going across to my crafting, and now I can make, with the hard antler and the lumber, I can make a primitive pickaxe. This would allow me now to hit the rocks, but I don't need to do that because I've just knocked the rocks down with the trees. So now I can go back and talk to Joanne, and she's going to tell me that it's time to get started. Okay, so we're going to skip through this text. Alright, so now we need to get plant fibers, which we've done. We need to craft a hammer. We need to take down Joanne's old house. If you want plant fibers, you get them from these plants. You just walk up to them. You can just hit them here. And there you go. You've now got plant fibers. Okay, so now I can get my hammer. So I go to craft a hammer. And it says I need 3 plant fibers. I only have 1 of them at the moment. So I'm going to go and collect some more. I now have 2. I need to get 1 more. So just from here. There we go. I've now got my plant fibers. And I can now craft a hammer, which is 1 branch, 1 rock, and 3 plant fibers. That is now done. So now I've got a blueprint for a workbench. So with a workbench, I can craft items. We're going to come back. You can press shift to sprint. I've now got my hammer, so if I enable my hammer, I go into build mode. I can now hover over this item here, and I can press and hold F to remove it. I've now got some resources back, not all of them. I can come out of build mode, and now it's telling me I need to craft a workbench. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go to the menu, to crafting, and we're going to build a workbench, which needs 1 plant fiber and 3 lumber. Let me go ahead and craft that. Now we can place it by pressing number 4. And now we can rotate it by pressing R. And we can place it wherever we want. So to place it, left click or press F. Now to interact with a workbench, we just walk up to it and press F. So we'll do that now. We need to craft at least 4 foundations as a workbench. And we need to build a new home with walls and a roof. So if I click on the workbench, I'm now in my 3rd menu, workbench tier 1, and we can see these items that we have available. Now I'm going to need some lumber enabled to do this. I need to do 4 foundations, at least. I need to do walls, and I need to do the roof. So we're going to walk around. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to hit this tree. We're going to hit it in such a way that we're going to try and hit it towards this other tree. If we can do this successfully, then it will knock down our tree, and it will knock down the next tree as well, giving us quite a lot of lumber as a result. Coming back to the workbench, And I'm now going to craft 4 log foundations. I just hold onto F or the left mouse button. Okay, so now that's been done. I can check how many I've got by going to my building. I can see I've got 4. I can now equip these. So I'm going to put these down here. So we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Now I need to go and craft a door. So I'm going to go ahead and craft a door. It's going to take 1 lumber and 2 branches. Excellent. And we need to do some walls as well. So I can craft 1 wall. Now I've run out. So I can put my door down. Press number 5 and put my wall down. I need to finish the wall. So I need another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are wood piles. I can come and just pick them up. Saves me knocking down trees. I can do this 3 times. Okay, there's another one here. I can do exactly the same thing. That's going to give me my 6 lumber that I need. There's another one over the back here. I can also knock down the trees. So we've done this. Come back to the work. Need to be near the workbench so I can do this. Okay, so now we're going to go for the rest of the walls, which is 6 walls that we need. Takes a little while to craft these, so we're just going to hold down the button. Fantastic, we've got our walls. So now let's just place these walls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now what we need is the roof, which is going to take 4 lumber and 4 plant fibers. So for that, we're going to go and knock down these trees. We're going to hit this tree, and we're going to hit it towards this other tree. And hopefully, if it falls, we'll be able to get this. We're also going to get these plant fibers here at the same time. Perfect. So now we've got this. So we're going to go and pick these up. We've got enough lumber. We just need some more plant fibers. So we're going to walk around here, see if we can find them. Hopefully there's some around the back. There we go, over here. So we can go and get these plant fibers. Great. So now we've got our plant fibers. So now we can go and finish our roof. Which means we need to go and craft this. So here we go. We're going to go for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent. Let's just place the roof. So again, we can rotate these. Go for 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. We now have a cabin. We can now go back to Joanne. Okay, so now she's going to tell us that there's somebody over there. We need to go and see if we can help them. But first, we need to go and get a bandage. So we're going to go into here. This was the sawmill. We're going to go inside. And whilst inside here, we can also sprint. We're just going to go and check out all of these barrels. Get everything from the barrels and the crates. The bandage is in the bottom crate. We're going to grab everything whilst we're in here. You can also talk to the resident if you want to. He's just going to say some stuff, but he doesn't really do much. Then we can come outside. There's also a shelf. We can grab the books from the shelf. From the barrel outside, grab everything we need. Now we can come over to this person. And now we can heal this person with the bandage that we've just acquired. When we do that, they're going to come to life as a zombie. This is how we will start combat. So, in order to do combat, it's very simple. You will just move away from them. If you get too close, they'll try and attack you. So you can come close for their attack, and then you can back off. Then you can hit them. You can also press space to do a roll to avoid them. So this is how you're going to... I would probably spend some time here, not hitting them, just dodging them, getting used to this mechanic by walking up to them, walking away, and then hitting them. It's quite simple. That is most of the combat mechanics. It is a very chilled out game. Once you've done that, you can loot the body. When you do loot a body, you will lose sanity. So you can see my sanity has gone down, but also you can see my fatigue has gone down. Okay, so now we can come back. We can talk to Joanne. If you've got a mouse wheel, you can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. Something that will help. Okay, so now we've been given a map. Now we have a map. We need to go and place a new piece of the world, eat some berries, and then return. So we can now make a new world piece. I'm going to talk to you about this now. We press C, and this will allow us to create a new world piece. At the moment, we have plains. This takes us to the overview of the map. Now, there are several different pieces within this game, and we'll talk about these in future videos. For now, all you need to know is that the different biomes can only connect via a connecting piece. What I mean by that is this is a plain biome. The next biome that we encounter will be the forest. You cannot place a forest next to a plain biome. You need to have a transition, so there will be a biome that is part plain and part forest, and that will allow us to continue building. You'll understand this shortly, but for now we're just going to place this one here next to us. This is what we need to do right now. So now we have level 1, which is our shelter, so we can now select our perk. Because we have a level 1 workbench and we have a level 1 shelter, we now get a perk. So we can either fortify our shelter to get 10 extra health, we can get 3 extra melee damage, or we can sanity increase by 15. We're going to go for the damage. Now we need to go and get some berries, so we're going to come to this new biome and we're going to collect some huckleberries. So all we're going to do now is click on this within the map here, and every time I do this, you'll see now this scouting on the bottom right here, this little grid here. Every time I create any action, this increases. So I can take 3 huckleberries, and then I can also knock down the bush to get an additional 2 huckleberries. And you'll see this scouting is starting to fill up. So let's do that again. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to collect these huckleberries, and every time I collect one, you'll see this just increases. 1, 2, and 3. Then I can knock it down. There we go, and now it's been knocked down. Perfect. So I can continue to do this. I can go for another one. I can do this again. 1, 2, 3. I can also knock this down. My axe has just been increased. Now I don't need to do this, I'm just showing you it as an example. You only need to do 1 bush, but I'm just doing a few more. So now, because I finished this, I have a new world piece that is ready. You can only have a maximum of 3 world pieces ready at any one time. And every time you have one ready, the next one is harder, so it takes more actions. That is called scouting. So any action that you do within the real world or within the game adds to your scouting, which allows you to create new world pieces. And the first one, relatively easy. The second one, a little bit harder. The third one, a little bit harder. Once you've got 3, you cannot acquire any more until you've placed them. I would not be in a hurry to place these. You do not need to. I would not get into the habit of just placing too many of them, because it will take you a long time to start navigating across the map. You'll have to start moving. So if I place this now, it means that I'm going to have to run through many squares to get to places, because this is just an empty plane. It doesn't really do anything. So we're not going to place that for now. All we're going to do instead is we're going to eat some berries. In order to eat some berries, we just come to our backpack, go to consumables, and we can click on the berry. We've now just eaten a berry. Now we need to return to Joanne, who has left, but she has given us a note. This note tells us that she's left, and so now we need to find the survivors of Corpse Creek. So we need to find the survivors camp. We also need to take down the old sawmill and take down the small house. So that's quite easy. We just select the hammer. We can take down this building. And we can do the same here. We can take down this building. Now, before you take down the building, you might want to go inside. You're welcome to if you want to. See if there's anything inside worth taking. At the moment, there's nothing here. You can inspect the bed. But we've got everything we need. So once that's done, take down the building. And this is now our biome. So we have our shelter. This is called Hunter's Rest. Now what we need to do is build a cartography table. We go to the workbench to do that. We need to use it to research a new piece of the world, and we need to place a plains to pine forest world piece. It's quite a good instruction talking you through this. So now if I click here, I can see my cartography table. I need ink. So ink is what I require. Plus I need lumber. To make ink, I need 1 feather, and I need 4 huckleberries. Huckleberries you get from the bush. Feathers you get from rustling trees. So you will have to go to a tree, and you will have to search the tree. You can search each tree up to 3 times, and normally you will get 2 branches and 1 feather. Sometimes you'll get 3 branches, like I did there. So I can search again. This time I got a feather. So you need to get a feather to be able to get ink. So now I can go back. I've got my berries. I can go to the workbench. I can make some ink. Now I have my ink. I can make my cartography table. This is one of the most important tables within the game. So we're going to place it down next to the workbench. Just here for now. So now we'll use the workbench to be able to build. But we're going to use the cartography table in order to research new climates. Now for the plains to pine forest, we need 4 rocks. We actually have 5. So we can go ahead and research this new space. Great. Now we have our new space. And now it talks to us about biomes. And this is what I was telling you about the transitions. In order for us to be able to go from a plain to a forest, we need a transitioning biome. And this will become apparent when I look here now. See, I want to be able to go and place this. Now I can place this, but now I can't. And the reason I can't place this now is because the forest section is against a plain biome. This makes it very strategic when you start to consider how you're going to build your world. There are several different biomes you're going to go through. There's the plain, there's the forest, there is the prairie, there is the Arctic, there is the frozen lake, there is the lake, there is the desert, there is the canyon, there is the Corpse Creek. So there's, I believe, 9 in total. No, 10, because there's also farmland. Farmland as well. There are 10 biomes in total. So you have to be careful because they're not all going to connect with each other. And some of them don't have connecting pieces. So you want to be very careful that you're not wasting space. So here I'm going to build out this way towards a forest. So now I need to go and research for the forest. So I have this. I need more rocks to do this. Rocks, very simple. I just attach my pickaxe and I just simply hit the rocks. Very, very easy to be able to do this. I pick up the rocks. I go back to the table. I've now got my 4 rocks and I can open up my pine forest. So the only problem now is I don't have enough scouting, which means I need to go and just do a few things in the world. So right now, very simple. All I need to do is just knock down some trees, pick up some bushes, just do some stuff that's going to basically keep me busy. And if I do this, if I hit this towards this tree here, hopefully I'll get 2 of them together. I'm going to need lots of wood in the future, so always good to be able to get it. I just missed that tree, which is unfortunate. We're going to have another go. I'm going to come back this way, and we're going to see if we can hit this bush. Hopefully take them both out at the same time. Great, pick these pieces up, and now I've got a new world piece. So I can now place down my pine forest. It won't go anywhere here because this is plain, which means it will only go here. This is the only place I can now put this. So now I have a forest. Different biomes have different things that are available to them, meaning that a transition piece may have some unique resources, and you'll figure this out as you go along. But for now, we can come up to here, and we can see there are new things within this forest. For example, we can see we have bees. For bees, very simple, just walk up to them. I can hit this, but it's going to hurt me, so I want to hit it quickly. I want to hit it a few times, and that's going to drop. And that's going to give me 2 bits of honey and some beeswax. So there's another one here I can come across. I can hit this one as well. There we go, and that's going to give me some the same. I've also got a zombie. This is the first zombie here, so again I'm going to let him attack. Then I'm going to hit him. I'm going to back off so I don't get hurt. I'm going to do the same thing again. Nice. Easy. 3 hits and he's down. So I can loot the body. This picks me up a book. I was also lucky enough to be able to hit the deer, so I can skin the deer, and I'm going to get the hard antler, a meat, and I'm also going to get the hide. You get the same every time. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to look around. There's some mushrooms on the floor. We can just see those. We're going to pick up our mushrooms. And that's pretty much everything we need to do in here. So we're just going to run across. We can see there's some more bees here, so we're just going to hit these. Again, we're being hurt, but not too much. It's okay. We're going to get the beeswax, the honey, the mushrooms. And that's everything that we need to pick up from this biome. So, right now, we've been able to expand our land. We've been able to pick up everything that we need here. And we've also been able to get a new world piece. So now it's become dusk. This means that night is close. If you're not willing to fight all kinds of dangers in the wild, you should return to your shelter or build one. It is also advisable or wise to have a light source and enough logs to fuel it before the night ends. So it's dusk. We need to now go and build a campfire. So we're going to do that now. We're going to go back to the workbench to build a campfire. We're going to set it up and light it. And we're going to cook a berry bowl. So we can also upgrade our workbench. Okay, so click on our workbench. In order to upgrade to a level 2 workbench, we're going to need 7 plant fibers and 3 beeswax. We've just got those. But I'm also going to need some flint and some rocks to make a campfire. So let's do that first. So we need to go and get 4 rocks. The reason for that is because you can use 2 rocks to make 1 flint. So we're going to hit this rock. Now we're lucky enough that we actually got 2 rocks and a flint. So we've got everything we need here. We can come back to our workbench and we can now craft a campfire. Campfires are important because they're going to allow us. We're just going to place this. So we're going to place it just down here. There's also something on the floor that we missed earlier. We're going to go and pick that up. There's a branch. So we need a branch to be able to light the campfire. So this is really important. So we're going to click this. Now, whilst we're standing next to a campfire, we will replenish our fatigue. So this is going to allow us to replenish our fatigue, which is good. We're also going to be able to cook. So if we click on cook, we can cook something. So if we put a berry in here on its own, we'll get a cooked meal. Put 2 berries in, we get a cooked meal. If we put 3 berries in, we're going to get a new recipe. So we're going to cook this new recipe, which is a huckleberry bowl. This huckleberry bowl, we can use this to eat. So we can click on consumables and we can click on this bowl. And we've just recovered some thirst and some health, some hunger. So this is our first way of being able to eat. We also got some meat. So we're able to cook some meat as well. So that's something else that we can do here. So lots of things that we can do here in terms of cooking, in terms of other things as well. So mushrooms, we can also put the mushrooms in there if we wanted to. But that's it. We don't need to do anything else at the moment. Later on, you'll be able to mix ingredients to make new recipes. And if we go across to the workbench, we'll also notice that we can make a bed. Now, this is going to take 1 feather, 2 plant fibers, and 2 branches. So we're going to go ahead and craft a bed. We're going to go inside our house. And within here, we're going to place a bed. Now, if your energy is ever depleted or it is nighttime, you can come in here and you can rest. But it has to either be night or you have to be tired. We can also click on hold R to save the game. Now, we're not going to sleep right now. We're at night in day 1, but we're just going to stay here for a little while. And it's also cold. So you feel the cold, you will fatigue much faster. So anything I do at night, I'm going to fatigue as a result of that. The only way I can overcome that is to light this and stand by it. So whilst I'm losing 3 fatigue, I'll be gaining 2 just because I'm standing next to the fire. So important to understand that standing next to a fire is going to recover your fatigue. So that's everything we need to do. We've done everything here. We can now upgrade the workbench. So we're going to go and press T because we have enough fibers and beeswax. And we now have a level 2 workbench. So a level 2 workbench gives us some new items. In terms of a level 1 workbench, we've done everything we need. We don't need to do anything else here. We don't need the plant, it's for decorations, and we don't need the log steps. So everything else is irrelevant right now. Workbench tier 2, this will allow us to build a fletching table, a tannery, and also a storage chest. So these are the next items that we'll need from a workbench level 2. The dresser, also the big dresser, and the rocking chair are just for decorations, an arch as well, and a chair we don't need. You will need a wooden table because that is what is needed to upgrade the fletching table. So, if you also click on the workbench, you'll see shelter and perk, level 2. But in order to do this, we need to upgrade our shelter to level 2. And this means that you've got to expand and build on your shelter. Now, a little trick that I'm going to show you here is that you can chop down some trees in order to be able to get some lumber. And you can use that lumber to be able to put foundations down. So we're just going to go ahead and do that right now. The reason I want to show you this is because if I go back to my workbench and I craft, we're just going to go ahead and craft another 5 of these. Okay. So now if I click on my workbench and we look at shelter, we can see that we are level 1. And we have just started on level 1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place some of these along here. And you can see the shelter upgrading as I do this. I can click on the hammer at any time by pressing number 3. And this will allow me to pick up and move any of these items. So be careful not to tear them down, but I can move them if I need to. I can then go ahead and I can place this foundation. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go and make a little bit more in terms of my workbench because I'm not quite there yet. Alright, so I'm going to make some more foundations. There's another 5. I can place these down, so just need to be careful what I do. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, because I'm getting thirsty, I need to search for water. So I will do this shortly. For now, I'm just going to keep knocking down these trees. And I'm going to expand my base. You can also do walls. You can do a roof. And the more that you build in terms of roofs and walls, the better it's going to be in terms of your shelter upgrading. So we've got some more lumber. I'm also just going to take down this rock here. And so what I'm just doing at the moment is I'm just building out this base. So I'm going to do 2 more log foundations. Perfect. I'm just going to move this out the way. Now I'm going to place these down. Alright, so that's as much as I can get in terms of my shelter. It's not giving me any more. So what I would need to do at this point is I would need to start building more walls. So I can do that here, put 2 more walls up. And if I do that, the shelter is going to start to grow again. So now I can start to expand out my base. I can also press number 3. I can move this wall. So if I do this, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I can do the same thing here. So with this door, I can move it to here instead. Move this to over here. I can move this to here. I can move this to here. So now, as you can see, I'm starting to make a bit of a bigger base. And that's something that I can do. So I'm going to knock down this tree. And you don't need a huge base. Obviously, you can start with a small one. When you start, you do start with just logs. Later on, you will upgrade, so you'll be able to have better wood. And then eventually, you'll be able to have stone. There are 3 levels. There is log, wood, and stone. So you'll be able to upgrade. So you don't really need to go crazy at the start and build a massive base. But you can if you want to. It's totally up to you. So again, we're going to go here and just build some more walls. I like to have a nice big base because it allows me to put everything inside it. Also, I don't mind spending a bit of time doing this. It's part of the game. There's absolutely no need to rush through this game and try and complete it. There's no real need for that. You want to enjoy this game. And part of the initial early on enjoyment is just coming from building a base. So don't rush through this. There's no need to do that. Enjoy it. Build your base. Make it how you want it to be. And get those extra perks as well. So I'm just going to go through here and do this. I'm going to build the rest of these up that I need. So there's another 2 to go here. Now what you're going to notice as I start to do this is that I'm starting to lose my hydration, my thirst. But I've also, as a result of building this base, I've got the ability to make 2 new world pieces. So I come across to my cartography table, and now I can see I can make a survivor's camp, but I can also make a lake. So I need plant fibers for the lake. So let's just grab those because they're right here. So we're going to grab those. So there's 2 plant fibers. And also I need some lumber for the survivor's camp. So let's go and grab that. Now don't worry if you run out of trees. Everything respawns. So it takes about a day, maybe 2 days, sometimes 3. But everything will respawn. So as we start to go into night 2. I'm just going to knock down this tree. We're going to try and knock down this rock at the same time. Trying to be efficient. That didn't work, unfortunately, but there we go. Alright. So now we can run back. Come to our cartography table. The survivor's camp, we need 4 rocks and we need the lumber. So we're going to go ahead and build this or research this. And also we need to get the lake. So we're going to go ahead and get the lake as well. We need 2 more rocks to get the lake. So there's 1 rock there that we missed from earlier. And then there's another one just on the side here. So we'll grab this before it gets too dark. Great. Alright, so now that we've done this, we've picked up our rocks. We've got everything we need at this stage. We're going to come back and we're going to research the lake. Excellent. Now we need 2 more rocks to do a plains and pine forest, and that's going to give us the ability to have a 2 plain and a 2 forest. So for now, let's put down a survivor's camp. So we need to figure out where that's going to live. To do that, we go to the map. We click on survivor's camp. And you'll notice here that this is in the unique. A unique world piece is part of the storyline. So you'll need this as part of the storyline. So we're going to place this down. Where do we want to place it? Well, we can place it wherever we want. So let's place it right here for now. There's our survivor's camp. We're also going to place down our lake because we need a lake as well. So we're not going to rest even though we need to. We're not going to do that. We're going to put down our lake. So where do we want our lake to go? Well, this is a good question and we need to obviously make this decision. But for now, we can put it just here. This is a good place for our lake to go. Now, for the lake to work, how we're going to build this, we need to think about it. So we can't put it here because of the forest. Which means if it goes here, we're going to need both a forest and a pine. And we know we have that. So we can go ahead and we can put this just here. It's a good place for the lake to go. Alright, now we're exhausted. Because we're exhausted, we move very, very slowly. Now I could go to sleep, and if I do that, it's going to recover my sanity, and it's also going to recover my fatigue. But what I can do instead at the moment is I can just stand by an open fire. I can actually cook, so I can cook the huckleberry bowl. If I do that, that's going to give me some hydration, and it's also going to feel some hunger. So I can eat these. And that has just helped me in terms of my thirst. And it's also made me so I'm not hungry anymore. So I'm not hungry. I've got my fatigue back up. I'm a little bit thirsty. And I'm a bit losing a bit of sanity at the moment. But this is fine. So what I can do is I can go and search for water. So we're going to wait till we've got our fatigue up all the way. Perfect. Now we're going to run over to the water. And if we sleep, we lose a day. So at the moment, we're trying to be efficient. We're not trying to lose our days. And so now we're at the lake. Anywhere where you can see these little ripples in the water, we can come over to here and we can scoop water. Scooping water, however, really takes your fatigue. So as you can see, this fatigue's going down very quickly. So we're going to get 6 water at the moment. But by doing so, you see it's taken a lot of our energy. We're also going to come and hit this. And it's going to tell us that our tool is too weak. So we cannot hit this. You can see there's little bits hanging out of this. This is how you know it's a special node. This is stone. This is something else. In this case, it's tin. So what we need to do is we need to run back. We're going to go to our base because our fatigue is running out. We're going to take our dirty water that we've just acquired. And we're going to move these for now. So we're going to move these in front of the base here so we don't keep running around. But we don't need to. We're going to move these over here. We're going to light this. This is going to help us with our fatigue. And we're going to cook. And we're going to put our dirty water to get a new recipe. So we put dirty water in the fire and we get clean water out. So we now have 6 water. Perfect. So now I can come to my menu. I can drink the water. I've now got hydration. Perfect. So I've done everything I need to do at the moment in terms of being able to hydrate, being able to eat. My sanity is going down. I can replace this simply by eating mushrooms. Now, if I eat them raw, I'll lose 15 sanity. But if I cook these, they'll actually give me some sanity back. So the more I cook, the more I get. I can actually go and find, if I go and find one more mushroom, so we know that they're in the forest. Here we go. We're going to grab this third one here. And because these have now respawned, we can also see the deers here as well. We're going to go and grab this deer, chase him for a little while, then we can hit him. Perfect. Now we can skin and gut, which is going to give us 1 meat, 1 antler, and 1 hide. We're going to need hide later when we make leather. So let's just come back to our base. Okay, perfect. We're now back at our base and we're going to cook the meat to get a new recipe. We can also cook 3 mushrooms if we wanted to. Now I believe if we do 2 mushrooms and water, we also get a new recipe. So 2 mushrooms and 1 water and we get mushroom soup. So I can go ahead now and I can eat my meat. But I'm not going to. I'm going to save this for later. Right now I'm going to eat my mushroom soup, which gives me my sanity back. Remember, you must cook the mushrooms. If you eat the mushrooms and they're not cooked, you'll lose sanity. Alright, so that's everything we need right now. We can survive. We have enough to be able to eat, to drink. We can rejuvenate our sanity and our fatigue. So all that's left to do at this stage is just to finish off our base before we head over to the camp. And that concludes the end of this first video. This is everything you need to be able to get set up, to be able to discover the camp. So I'm not going to go to the camp in this video. What we're going to do is just finish off our base. So in order to do this, I just need some more roof pieces. Perfect, so we have those. So we can now go and put these in the middle here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 for the roof, and now I just need to put the rest of the roof all the way around the edge. In order to do that, I'm going to need some plant fibers, so just going to grab those quickly. And our shelter is almost at level 2. Let's just grab another one up here. Now I wouldn't go too crazy on your first house because again you will be rebuilding it later. So for now, go. So at this stage, I can put this here. I can't actually do because I don't have any corner pieces at the moment. So I could do this, but it doesn't really look very good. So I'm just going to do them the straight roof at the start with the corner pieces where they are. So we need to do this. I need to chop down this tree here. You could search a tree first to get the feather, and then you can chop it down if you wanted to. We've got more world pieces because we're doing more tasks. This is good. Perfect. So, put that there and there. Excellent. And now all we need to do, last little piece of the building here, to put this down, we need 3 more of these. And we're also, you can see now we're at level 2 for our shelter. So we've made it to level 2 shelter, which is great. Just put these last 3 pieces down. And the reason I'm building this big shelter is so that I'm almost at level 3. Alright, that should be everything that we need. Just grab some of these in case. So as you can see, this is about a 45-minute video. It's taken quite a bit of time to get to this stage, but at the moment, we're just taking our time. We're enjoying the game. Okay. So now we have this. We can finish off our roof. And there we go. We're almost at level 3 now. We have a nice big house, which we can go inside. We have everything that we need within here. So, the only thing that's left to do for me at this stage, to go back to the forest, get some more trees. And I just want to build a little bit of decking outside, just to finish this off. I'm also going to hit this because it's going to give me some honey. Some beeswax. Grab the extra bits. There's not really a need to stock up with too much stuff. Don't get FOMO. Don't think you need to hoard resources. That's not really a thing in this game. You don't need to do that. I'm just going to build 4 of these. Excellent. And then I'm just going to place these out the front. And I'm going to move my items. So here we go. We'll put a workbench here. Put the table here. And we'll put the fireplace. Because the fireplace can't go on there. We'll put the fireplace just here. Great. So now we have our little base. If we wanted to, we could also make a decorative plant. We can also go to level 2 and we can make a wooden chair. And we can also make a table. So these are things that we're going to need to make later. Maybe even a rocking chair. If you just want to put one on there, just to sit outside and look quite nice. So here we go. We've got our base that we're building. We've got everything that we need here. There's no benefits of being inside. It doesn't do anything to be inside. It doesn't save you from anything at night time. And you can pretty much run around at night at the moment. There's no problems with doing so. If you do come across an enemy, you'll know, because the enemy you can see the colours in them. So you can see the red here, and there you go. These are the enemies at night time. They're normally in the forest, and you can see them because of the colours of them. They're either red or green, and you can just avoid them if you need to. But that's it at the moment. That's everything we need to know. That should have successfully got you through your first 2 nights and got you to the forest, the first unique. You've got enough to get water, food, sanity, and everything you need. So we're just going to recover, end this video, and then we'll start the next video as we go to explore the camp.